Hello, welcome to the GBS Analytics Hub. I'm Uday Kumar Mutali. This is the first part of a comprehensive KPI framework series for GBS and shared services. Over the next few videos, I will cover the fundamentals, framework design, and then specific KPIs for finance, HR, payroll, IT service management, and scorecard governance. In this video, we start with the foundation. What are KPIs? Why do they matter in GBS? And what separates a good KPI framework from one that fails? Here is a complete journey we will take across the series. Part 1, which is this video, covers KPI fundamentals. Part 2 through to 6 will cover finance, KPIs including P2P, O2C, R2R, Treasury, and intercompany. Then HR and payroll KPIs, IT service management KPIs, scorecard design, and finally AI and digital reporting. Each part will be a separate video. By the end of the series, you will have a complete playbook for building and running a KPI framework in any GBS or shared service environment. Let us begin with KPI fundamentals, understanding the building blocks of performance management. What is a KPI? A KPI, or a key performance indicator, is a quantifiable measurement that evaluates how effectively an organization or a function is achieving its key objectives. But here is a distinction that most people miss. A metric is any measurable data point. The number of invoices processed in a month is a metric. It tells you a volume, but it does not tell you whether that volume is good or bad. A KPI is a metric tied to a strategic objective with a defined target. Invoice accuracy greater than or equal to 98% is a KPI. It has a number, a target, and is connected to a business. Then there are OKRs, objective and key results. That is a broader goal setting framework. KPIs feed into OKRs. Think of metrics as a raw material ingredient, KPIs as the recipe, and OKRs as the meal you're trying to cook. Why do KPIs specifically in GBS matter? Let me give you a specific example with 3 data points. 73% of GBS leaders say KPIs are top priority. Organizations with formal KPI frameworks perform 3 times better than those without. And KPI driven continuous improvement programs have achieved up to 40% cost reduction. Those are not my numbers, those come from industry research. But beyond the statistics, KPIs do 3 things in a GBS environment. First, visibility and transparency. KPIs replace gut feel with evidence. Your leadership team can see in real time whether operations are on track. Second, accountability and ownership. When, when every metric has a named owner and a defined target, accountability becomes part of the operating model, not an afterthought. Third, continuous improvement. KPIs identify where performance is below target. That creates the evidence base for targeted improvement projects. Without KPIs, your Lean Six Sigma and DMAC projects have no baseline and no way to measure success. Let me go deeper into the hierarchy. Metrics, KPIs, and OKRs. Think of it as a pyramid. At the base, you have metrics, raw material data points, counts, volumes, totals. Every system generates them. 847 invoices processed in January. That is a metric. It tells you nothing about whether 847 is a good or a bad metric. In the middle, you have KPIs. A KPI takes that metric and adds a target, an owner, and a strategic relevance. Invoice processing accuracy, number greater than or equal to 98%, owned by the AP manager. Now you know what a good looks like and someone is accountable. At the top, OKRs, an objective plus key result. The objective might be achieve world-class AP operations. The key results might be invoice accuracy at 98%. DPO at 45 days. KPIs are the measurement engine that tells you whether your OKRs are on track. Most GBS organizations I have worked with have plenty of metrics, but very few are properly defined. That is a gap this framework is designed to close. How do you know if a KPI is a good one? I use the SMART O filter. You may know SMART from project management, but I have added the O, which stands for owned. Let me walk you through each letter. S stands for specific. It measures one clear, precise thing, not quality in general, but invoice processing accuracy percentage. M, measurable. The data is available, consistent, and can be captured reliably every reporting period. If you cannot measure it consistently, it is not a KPI. A, actionable. When it drops below a certain target, someone can actually do something about it. If nobody can influence the number, it should not be a KPI. R, relevant. It connects directly to a business outcome, cost, quality, customer satisfaction, or risk. If it does not link to a business outcome, it is just noise. T, timely. Data is available frequently, enough to drive decisions. Monthly data for daily operations is too slow. You need weekly or real time data. And O, owned. A named individual is accountable, not a team, not a department, a person, a single owner. Owner or no owner means no accountability, and no accountability means no improvement. Before you add any metric to your KPI framework, run it through this filter. If it fails any of these six criteria, it is not ready to be a KPI. KPIs come in four types, and understanding this is very important because each type serves a different purpose. First, lagging indicators. These measure outcomes after the fact. Monthly invoice error rate, quarterly attrition percentage. They tell you what happened, useful for reporting and trend analysis. But by the time you see them, the damage is already done. Second, leading indicators. These predict future performance. Training completion rate predicts quality. Open requisitions predict future headcount cost. These are your early warning indicators. If you have only lagging indicators, you're always reacting. You need leading indicators to be proactive. Third, input KPIs. These measure resources going into a process, FTE count, processing volume, transaction throughput, useful for capacity planning and cost management. Fourth, output is KPIs. These measure results produced by a process, invoices processed, cases resolved, payslips generated, useful for productivity measurement and benchmarking. A good KPI framework has a mix of all four types. If you have only lagging output metrics, you're driving while looking in the rearview mirror. Now, the core of this framework, the four-layer KPI architecture. This is how your structure of KPIs so that every level of the organization has the right metrics at the right frequency. Layer 1, strategic KPIs. These are the KPIs for the CEO, CFO, and the board. 3 to 5 headline metrics that tell leadership whether GBS is delivering its mandate. Cost per transaction, overall quality score, NPS. These are reviewed monthly or quarterly. Layer 2 are the operational KPIs. These are the process owners and managers work on. Functional level metrics for finance, HR, IT, and payroll, updated weekly. They drive tactical decisions and resource planning. This is where most of our KPI framework series will focus. Layer 3, team KPIs for team leaders and supervisors, individual team accuracy, volume, SLA compliance, used in daily huddles and weekly coaching conversations. Layer 4, diagnostic KPIs for quality analysts and continuous improvement teams. Root cause metrics, error type breakdowns, bottleneck indicators. You do not need to review these regularly. You pull them out when performance drops and you need to find and fix the cause. The mistake I see most often in GBS is that organization only build layer 1 and layer 2. They have strategic and operational metrics, but nothing at the team or diagnostic level. When a KPI goes red, they cannot drill down to find out why. This four-layer model fixes that. Why most KPIs or the frameworks fail. Before we move on, let me share the fourth most common reasons why KPI frameworks fail. I have seen all four of these in real GBS environments. Failure mode 1, measuring too much. Tracking 50 to 100 metrics creates noise, not insight. Leaders cannot identify what needs attention. When everything is a priority, nothing is. The fix: limit to 6 to 8 KPIs per function. Track fewer metrics obsessively. Failure mode 2, no clear targets. Metrics without targets are just numbers. Without knowing what good looks like, teams cannot tell if 95% accuracy is excellent or threshold. Every KPI must have a defined target and a threshold. Failure mode 3, no accountability. When a KPI has no named owner, it belongs to everyone, which means it belongs to no one. Problems get identified, but nobody acts. Assign a named individual to every single KPI. Failure mode 4, reporting too late. Monthly reports tell you what went wrong 30 days ago. By the time data reaches the decision maker, the problem has already compounded. The fix: real time dashboards, not monthly PDF reports. And that is exactly what we will build in the dashboard videos later in this series. Let me summarize the 5 KPI takeaways from this session. 1. A KPI is a metric tied to a strategic objective with a target, a owner, and an action when it misses. 2. KPIs differ from metrics and OKRs. All three serve different purposes. 3. Good KPIs pass the SMART O filter: specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, timely, and owned. 4. The four-layer framework: strategic, operational, team, and diagnostic, ensures every level of the organization has the right metrics. 5. The four most common failure models are too many metrics, no targets, no ownership, and late reporting. Avoid all four by design, not by accident. This is part one of the KPI Framework Series. In part two, we will dive into finance KPIs covering P2P, O2C, R2R, Treasury, FP&A, and intercompany. If you're building or improving a KPI framework in your GBS or shared services organization, subscribe to GBS Analytics Hub. I post new videos frequently. Drop a comment below if you have questions about applying this framework in your environment. Thank you for watching. I will see you in part two. In the meanwhile, please subscribe to my services on the channel and on my GitHub platform as well. Thank you.